Hey guys, today in the shop we have the 2015 Chevy Tahoe LT, not rich enough for the Z. Today we're going to change the rear air shocks on the back of the vehicle. Both of them have pretty much died. We live in Arizona, super hot. The rubber on the shocks just gets brittle and dried out and cracks. And one of the biggest indications that this is going on is when you hear the compressor run over and over and over, like this. And that will run and run and run and run. And the danger of that is you burn out your compressor because it's constantly trying to run to find the right air pressure for the shocks, which aren't holding pressure because the rubber boots have been broken or brittle and fallen apart. So today we're going to swap those out. It should be a pretty easy thing. I just chinked myself. It'll be an absolute nightmare. Come along for the ride and let's see how it goes. So we're going to remove the clip that's holding on the airline. We're going to pull off the airline. On the next step, we need to get a 21 on the back side and the front side. I'm going to put a bottle jack under here. See if we can't release some of that pressure. Okay, I'm going to try to show you the very, very small space that you have to get up to the bolt that's on the upper side on the top of the shock. It's very, very small. So let's see if we can see it, and I'll show you what I used. So this space right here, that's the space at the top of which is the back side of this nut. As of right now, I have it's a 1/2 inch extension to a 3/8 drive on a 21 shallow socket. And I'm using, to get in there, I'm using my trusty Pittsburgh thin wrench that's got a flex head. So it can fit up in that little spot. I can connect it to the connector and then hold it tight while I ratchet the other side. That's the plan, at least. That's what I got to fit up there. It is just not easy to get to. I don't know what they were thinking when they put that on there or what tool is supposed to be used, but that's what I'm using. So, again, a plethora of tools. All right, let's take a look. Let's see if we can get this done. Oh, jeez. Okay. So there's only been a slight alteration in plans, and that is I did finally get this wrench connected in the back. It's holding tight, and I'm using a ratcheting wrench because why the heck not? And it helps when you put it on the right way because this is going to take a minute. If we took off the dust shield from the inside, it would probably make this easier because it would give you the room. Alright, let's try a wrench. Alright, we switched up to a 1/2-inch driver. We're going to get this thing done. Come on. Just like that. No problem. No problem at all. Get the wrench out. Worse in the process to get out. Not how we should, shall we say, easy. Okay, we got it. It's out. A little bit more of a hassle than we anticipated, but all right. So this is our new shock. It's OEM. Got it from the dealership. I just didn't want to take any chances with aftermarket. I know there's a lot of them that say they're good, and they may be. I'm going to compare these two. Make sure we get apples for apples here. The part number's different on here, but from the dealership they said this is the right one. Everything else matches up. Connectors all match up. So I think we're good to go. Let's get this thing installed. As I'm looking at this rubber cover is just hammered. I'm wondering if that's even replaceable or if you gotta buy a whole friggin' new unit. Knowing GM, you could buy a whole new unit. So let's see what we can do here. I'm gonna put this over the brake line. There's a brake line down here you got to get between. If you wait till you're in here, you're never going to get it. You know what? I'm gonna take out. I'm gonna take out that dust shield. It's just gonna be easier. So we got a T15 Torx bit now, 3/8 1/4-inch driver. That's what all these little bolts are in here. We have 9 of the T15s. It's Arizona, so this will probably break. One thing about living in Arizona, you have spares of all your plastic fasteners because they will break. This one's actually a lot more malleable than I would have given credit for. We lost her. We lost that one. Apparently someone else is having a bad day. And looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little somethings. Look like 7s. Let's go take a look. Electric glove. So now that we know what we should have done in the first place, let's go ahead and do it again. Sit there. Just do this. Oh, hey, that works. That works a lot better. Just do that. Yeah, that's what you do. All right. Sorry about that. The camera cut out right as I was finishing up the tightening of the lower thing. So, oh, that's some air out from, I'm assuming, jacking it up there. So let's get the air hose connected and get that thing back in there. Okay. It helps when you have the parts you need right here by your side, unlike me. So this is what the clip looks like, and you just slip it back on. Just slip it back on. Oh, come on, stupid thing. All right. And just like that, you just slip it right back on. Yeah, it's like nothing. Hello, welcome back. It's tomorrow for me. It's about a millisecond for you. You didn't even know that I left, but it is tomorrow, not today. So I had to go to work last night, which is why I had to stop. I think we left off here when I realized that I was being lazy and spent way more time trying to figure out how to work around the inside shield here than just taking it off and getting the thing done, which is clearly the route you want to go if you're going to do this on your own. So that being said, let me go get it. Let's carry on. Let's get this side wrapped up and go get the other side done. All right. So I did go out and get new Christmas tree clamps or clips because I broke the one to get it out. I'm sure there's a method. I don't know what it is. Nevertheless, I got 2 new ones to replace those, and I got 2 new ones for the other side if we need those. To our T15 Torx. Let's get 1 or 2 of these in, and then I'm going to get the center ones in. Two new Christmas clamps. Got these from AutoZone. So I measured them out. The width is the same. I don't know if this is focused or not. Anyways, the length is a little bit shorter, but the width is the same. Now I know that on here the panel lines up. It's just a thin piece of metal, and it lines up flush. So the liner here and the metal that it clips into lines up flush, so it's very narrow. So the length so much wasn't as a concern as the width. So yeah, apparently you want girth over length. You can see the dark circle here. That's where the washer lined up on top of it before. So you can kind of finagle over your liner to get that to fit upright. Here's a free amateur tip for you. When you're doing something on both sides of a vehicle, just do one at a time. So if you get stuck and you don't know how something is supposed to go, you can go look at the other side as a reference. I just wasn't sure exactly how this inside part of the liner lined up, whether it came over this lip. I didn't think it did, but then how deep it sat in there. So I just referenced the other wheel well and saw exactly that. I just had to pass it. There's a little clip that I just had to push it back, and now everything's lining up perfectly. So again, complete amateur tip. Don't do both sides at the same time. One at a time. One at a time, folks. Make sure you remove your tools. First things first on that side. Switch to the 7mm. Tell you what, there's got to be a correct method to take these Christmas tree clamps out. Maybe there's a tool that I'm not aware of, which gives me an excuse to buy one. We put it in the comments. How do you get Christmas tree clamps out or clips? What's the secret? Pull the clip. Pull the clip. It came off a lot easier than the other side, didn't it? So we're using the same setup as last time. Then I have a 1/2 inch with the 21 on this side. It helps if you go the right bolt. There you go. So that's probably okay. We're in. This is what that entails. It's not difficult as far as physics. It's just trying to get the freaking everything lined up. That's the hardest part, man. After that, it's cake. But you got to get that lined up. Again, I'm sure there's another method to get this out. I don't know what it is, but this is what I'm using. This is what works. We're going to go for the lower. Let's get this thing out, get the new one in. Come on. Get the hammer. Alright guys, I just want to give you a quick look at how bad this was. You can see there's literally big holes right in the middle, all over the place here on both of them. And you can see that they also wore down right in the same spot on both sides. This is obviously where it would actuate or inflate on a regular basis. So these things were knackered, completely hammered. Very happy to get these changed out. Okay. Does anybody notice what's wrong with this picture? Here's my air. I put it in backwards. Glad I realize that now. I have learned one thing. When you install parts correctly, they go in a lot better. Alright. Alright. Got it. Okay. There we go. Alright. So put the hose, the air back on. So we can just slip it on there. Alright, some of you are probably looking around going, wow Sam, that looks a lot cleaner than you took it off. And you're right, thanks for asking. I did take it out and I got my pressure washer and hosed the whole thing out because it was covered in mud. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that anytime I take something off a car, I have to clean it before it goes back on the car. So that's why it looks so much better. It's not new, it's just clean. So yeah, by the way, the liner went in a lot quicker and faster because I did it correctly this time. So again, that always helps. Let's get the tire back on. All right, let's get the light lifting of the day. So let's do this. Let's start the car real quick and see if we hear the compressor going off like we did before. But it should be silent. Let's check it out. All right, guys. I know my face is covered in garbage. That's just part of it. Let's find out if it worked. I'm going to turn on the car and see if the compressor is going to run. All right, let's check it out. All right, so what we're looking for is the compressor, if it does go on momentarily and turn off. And it may just go on for a second to fill up the other one that we just put on, or both of them that we just put on. And we'll see how it goes. All right, let's check it out. So there it is, and it went off. It went off. So it went on just for a second and then went off. And you remember when we turned it on at the beginning of the video, it just kept running and running and running and running. So I heard it go on. It was on for like 2-3 seconds and turned off, which is exactly what we want. That means the shocks have air in them. They're holding the air and we don't have a leak anywhere else. So job done. Again, the first one was a lot more difficult. Obviously took a lot longer because I was figuring everything out, trying to understand how things worked and the best way to approach things. The second one, if I wasn't recording and moving cameras, I probably would have been done with the second one in about 30 minutes. The first one was 2.5 hours. But again, figuring out the liner, I wasted a lot of time not just taking out that inner liner, which would have saved me a ton of time. Let me turn off the car. That would have saved me a ton of time if I just did it right the first time. I was being lazy, trying to find a shortcut that ended up being a longer road to the end result. So just a lesson learned. Again, this is all amateur tip time from me, but I'm so pleased. I happen to know I called some dealerships, and this job to get done at a dealership is about $2,000. $2,000. So put that in the bank. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.